I'm going to show you exactly how to dominate turn 1 with the Dwarves and Belegar Ironhammer. Grudges must be settled by all means necessary to keep order across the realms. Dwarf armies can use the Underway, which is a little ability that you can transport to cross impassable terrain and basically ambush enemy forces. Now you do have to be careful with that though, because if you get caught, you're going to basically be forced into a battle and you might lose. The dwarves rely on steadfast, heavily armored infantry supported by powerful artillery and missile units. So these are great for turtling. Completely lacking in cavalry, their only mobile units are the harassing gyrocopters, which are probably some of the best units in the game, and their war machines. Through lacking access to spells, the dwarves are innately resistant to spell damage, and they also have ruins. So let's jump on in. So we have all these amazing dwarves, but Belegar happens to be one of my favorites to play. Now he has a plus 50% upkeep until Karak Eight Peaks is recaptured. So we're going to talk about that. This is super important. You want to get here as quickly as possible. Now, unique building chain available at Karak Eight Peaks. He has 4 clan Angrund Ancestral Heroes, which are like ghost heroes, and they're super powerful. Leadership plus 10 when laying siege or encircling. He has attribute Vanguard deployment during underway battles. High King Decrees plus 1. Lord effects. Missile block chance plus 20% for the Lord Army. So they're super effective against any of these big archer style factions. Ability Mighty Oathstone. He's going to have plus 24 melee defense for about 90 or 25 seconds, and that's going to just improve his ability to not get hit in melee combat. It also gives him expert charge defense, so this would be great when you're getting charged by cavalry and you can send him in and slow him down. He has plus 10% or 10 leadership when fighting against greenskins, ogres, and skaven for the Lord's army, which is good because that's mostly what you're going to be fighting at the beginning. He starts right here, okay, and he has a settlement a little bit farther away from where he starts. And unfortunately, Karak Eight Peaks is all the way over here. So you literally have to run up and across the map and down. Or you can come down, over, and across. It just kind of depends on what you want to do. There is Scarbrand and a couple other nasties down in here, as well as some pirates. And if you go north, you're going to be dealing with some vampire counts and lots of greenskins. So just pick your poison. Anyways, let's jump on in. With Belegar, he starts off right down in the bottom. So this is the little knobby area of the continent. Okay, so we have the vaults is where he starts. His path to glory. He must recapture the settlement of Karak Eight Peaks to defend this area from all the other greenskins and all the other crazies. But when he does this, he's going to get plus 50% increase in his income basically from all the upkeep that he's been paying out. So the cool part is you can get Karak Eight Peaks fairly easily if you do the right thing. Now, Dwarf, path to glory, he must also settle with the Book of Grudges. So this is pretty common for the dwarves. And then, as we talked about earlier, he has the Age of Reckoning, which is going to increase the power of the dwarves by settling scores. Now, you must use Oath Gold, which are kind of like the resource of the dwarves to build magic items and create other things. So it's one of my favorite parts of the dwarves. And they also have that underway stance we talked about earlier. So their enemy here is going to be an easy greenskin faction. Now you have a couple options. You can embed these heroes in here, which honestly is a pretty good idea. You can also use all these different things and try to wound this guy or whatever you'd like. But the reality is we're going to throw them all in because they're absolute powerhouses in battle. Alright, so we have Belegar ready to go. There's a couple options. You can literally ignore this guy and go straight for Karak Eight Peaks. Or you can take out Boofdar and then Karak Izor and then come up through here. And you're going to start battling like vampire counts and empire. So that's a pretty fun way to go. But we're going to go with the classic. So look at this. Easy victory. Just wipe them out. Bam. Now, we want to get our guys improved as quickly as possible. So, with this, I would say you really don't need the replenishment right now. We need the Oath Gold. So we're going to go for that Oath Gold. Now, from here, he has the power to go on to capture Karak Boofdar. But notice, if you do this and you leave and go south again, they're going to bring another army and take it out. So, just a thought. Also, we have these legendary Grudges. If you want, you can basically run through and take out these factions. And if you do this, you're going to get rewards. Unlocks the landmark building in the Oak of Ages, and it will settle grudges. Okay, so there's different ones for like Dark Elves, which you're going to get a Dwarf Lord, a unique underway network. It says -3 turns for this, which is cool. And then the grudges here are pretty exciting because you get +2 grudge settler unit capacity, and that's pretty sweet. The legendary lords you can also confederate, and it's going to cost you a certain amount of settled grudges, okay? The grudge settling units are just superstar units that you can take into battle, and you can recruit these as soon as you've reached the tier of the Age of Reckoning. Okay, so if you look up here, this is the Age of Reckoning. Each tier, there's going to be different benefits or drawbacks. And as you go up, the better. So you have 15 turns until the next Age of Reckoning, and you have to complete the Age of Reckoning to gain the effect. Okay. Alright, so what we want to do is we definitely want to apply these skill points to him. And since obviously we're going into battle next, we might as well grab this. We don't need the movement range till next turn. So we're going to increase our unit experience on this battle. And then from there, we can roll him right in. Take it out. And then you can either sack this guy for a bunch of money and leave it, or you can occupy it. So it's really whatever suits your fancy. I generally recommend, you know, if you're more of a turtling type of player, you definitely want to occupy, and if you're not, you're definitely going to want to sack it because it's going to give you a ton of money. Okay, now check this out. We have the ability to confederate Karak Hearn, get improved relations with them, or get tribute. Okay, so this is super important. If you confederate these guys, you're going to get a bunch of armies, and you're also going to, well, you're going to get one army, and you're going to get a different settlement area. So if you're going to turtle, then you want to confederate or spread the word. Okay, depending on if you want that extra lord, and it might put you in the red for upkeep because you have 2 lords. So just keep that in mind. If you're going to be aggressive and just be running straight towards Karak Eight Peaks, we're going to take the tribute. Bam. Okay, so we take that tribute, and then guess what? We are going to move away because what we want to do is we want to come back towards this. And we want to head straight towards Karak Eight Peaks. Okay, because it's all the way down here. The fastest way to get there is to run right through the Badlands. Okay, and you can technically leave via a port. There's ports over here that you can use. So, but do keep in mind that we have the Skaven. Okay, Clan Skyer. If you take out Skaven Blight, you're going to get the ability Coal Miners. when you're in your own territory, which is pretty cool. So that would be an interesting one. If you like a cool battle, you could take out Scathe and Blight right off the bat. Alright, so we're going to grab some more skill points here. We're going to grab that Route Marcher. And for all the heroes, we want to increase mobility because we're going to be moving a long ways. Now for this guy, you can get Ancestral Grudge, which is going to be important when we're fighting against greenskins. This is going to increase all unit experience by 10%. So if you look, we have 2 experience increases. So if we do that, we're going to get an additional 20% experience for our units right off the get-go. So that's probably a good idea. And then this guy is basically going to be a buff for your army. So this can unlock hardened armor, increases the armor or the weapons. Okay, so it really depends on how you like to play. Obviously these guys are low in armor right now, so why don't we just grab the sharpened weapons, and you can always grab the hardened armor. I just love damage, man. So Belegar has some pretty cool stats. He's got armored, leadership, that mighty oath. He has ravage, incarnate. So he's a great guy to just run in and smash everybody. Then you have all of these. These are all the runesmiths. You don't want to take these in and have them take a lot of damage. You kind of want them to be like his bodyguard in a way. The dwarf warriors are great to send in and slowly move towards your enemy. And the rangers, you can stalk and come up behind them, so they're pretty sweet. And then hammers are going to be a great damage dealer, so you want to take those guys in and smash their other infantry. From here, we can grab our tech trees, so there's increased diplomatic relations, and then you can go for growth. And then this one, all the way down here, gives us campaign movement range. But you have to get all of these other upgrades. So what I would suggest is, depending on what you like to do, we can go for different ones. So there's Oak Gold here. We also have the clans. This is going to give increased power for your units. So since we're going to be running towards Karak Eight Peaks, basically, we're going to get this one, marching songs. And then as we go along, we will keep upgrading our units stronger and stronger, because we're not going to be able to replace a ton of these as we go. So this one's going to take 2 turns to get quarrelers, but it's totally worth it, okay? Because realistically, what you want to do is we want to take Belegar, and you can next turn run this back up and take him, sack it again, or you can occupy it, or you can run this down and collect some quarrelers, which is honestly one of the best things in the game. You can also grab, if you like, siege weapons. It's not bad, but you would have to wait 3 turns, which is pretty long. So what I would say is grab income, so that way you can support your troops for now. And then we can move on from there. This one gives us oath gold and regular gold, and then we'll grab this to get those quarrelers up. We can grab a secondary lord if you guys want to stay in this area. So that way you can basically battle back the orcs and protect your little kingdom, if that's something you're interested in. If not, you can always just sell this after you run past and grab everything else. So for lords, generally there's the Rune Lord. The regular lords are good. I mean, they're just a normal melee guy, just kind of like Belegar. We have the Rune Lords, which I highly recommend, especially if you check this out. For all 15% for all buildings in the local region. These guys are your classic damage slayers. Okay, so they have whirling axes and they are unbreakable, and they're going to be more of your run in and smash some infantry guys. Okay, as they make kills, they're going to get increased damage resistance. But if, as you can see, they do not have any armor. Okay. And then I would highly think that this guy would make the most sense with the research rate and the construction cost decrease. So we'll actually throw that down, and if we pull these off, we can get a cheaper construction cost now. Okay. Bam. And then what we want to do is we definitely want to recruit. So I love the dwarf warriors with the great weapons. Honestly, the miners with the blasting charges are not bad because the blasting charges do a lot of damage. But I'm just going to go with the classics. And then from here, what we want to do is throw down on the diplomacy.
The Empire.
So you can trade with the border princes and get a movement ability, so you have a military access, because we definitely don't want to be causing a bunch of angry people over here. So what I would do is we run down here and then continue on towards the Badlands, and you could probably make it to Karak Eight Peaks in 10-15 turns. So depending on how you play, and that's what I would recommend. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that guide. Highly recommend Belegar Ironhammer campaign, especially if you like a new style of campaign. And for the most part, super solid run with this guy, either if you go with the assault route towards Karak Eight Peaks, or if you want to stick around Turtle and take that hit of the upkeep. So let me know what you guys think. If you like that, make sure you leave a comment, likes, subscribe, and have a great day. Don't have any grudges. Titan Prime out.
And subscribe for Karak Eight Peaks.